Alright, so now I'm going to be showing you some different oil pastel techniques on my fall leaves here. So the first technique that I have is called heavy pressure blending. Alright, so we're going to be using a lot of pressure, pushing pretty hard with our oil pastels for this technique. Alright, so I'm going to start with a green and I'm going to push pretty hard on my leaf to fill that color in so I can't see the paper. And then I'm going to be blending my green into a yellow, so I'm going to be pretending that my leaf is kind of getting lighter as I get closer to the edges. Okay, so I have that green here, and I will take my yellow, and I'm also going to push hard with this. And where I want these two colors to blend together, I'm just going to keep pressing into that green with my yellow, so that those two colors start to blend together and slowly transition into each other. So all my edges I will just go in with that yellow and blend it into my green, kind of being careful not to get that onto my black outline because that kind of blends in there. Okay, so using a lot of pressure, pushing pretty hard with this to blend my yellow into my green. You can do the same if you want the green to go more into your yellow. You can push back into it. Again, pushing pretty hard. Okay, so that's heavy pressure blending. Next we're going to be doing something called light pressure blending on our next leaf. Okay, so that's where we're not going to be pushing very hard, and we don't want to cover all of our paper when we do light pressure blending. So this is to get more of a texture in our leaf. So I'm not pushing very hard. I'm not trying to cover my whole leaf with color. I'm just lightly covering it with my orange. And I'm going to blend in a purple with it. Again, just pushing lightly. And this will kind of blend the colors together, but then you can still see the difference between them, and it leaves a cool texture in your leaf. Just pressing lightly. Okay. The next technique we will be using is called scumbling. So it's kind of making little circles and overlapping them with various colors. This is called scumbling. So I'm going to start with a red and just start to make little circles all around. You can vary their size, just teeny tiny circles. Then you're going to start to blend other colors into those circles. Okay, so I'll add a brown and just keep making circles, and I'm pushing pretty hard to make really dark colors and to blend them in. When you push harder, the colors blend more. I think I'm going to add a little black to this too with my scumbling. Okay, and you're just adding layers of color and blending them together with that circle shape. Right? You would go down into your stem too. The next technique we are going to be using is called stippling. Okay, so this is little dots of color, and again pressing pretty hard to blend those dots together. So I'll start with an orange, just pushing hard to make these little dots, and I'll just do a little part of my leaf. Once you've covered quite a bit of area, then you would switch to a different color. Go to red. And you can overlap those dots then, and that will kind of blend those colors together. Let's see. And I'll add in some yellow. Fun fall colors, blending together by pushing hard, making those dots. Okay, that would be stippling. The next technique is called sgraffito. And this here is where you're going to have 2 layers of color. You'll lay down 1 layer of color, pushing really hard, and then you're going to scratch away. Or then you're going to add another color over top of it and then scratch away that first layer. Okay? So my first color I'm going to choose is purple. I'm going to push pretty hard with my purple to fill in my whole shape. Don't want to see too much of the paper, so that's why I'm pushing pretty hard. This is my bottom layer. We'll see this color after we scratch away our top color. So this is our bottom layer. Then I'm going to add black over top of the purple, again pushing pretty hard. Go over top of that color. This is kind of a cool way to make veins in your leaves. So once you have those 2 layers of color, you're going to find a way to scratch into that color. And what I'm going to use is just the back of my pencil. Okay, so I'm going to be making the veins of my leaf right now. Okay, just using light pressure to take away the black, that top layer of black, so that I can see underneath to my purple. And if you push too hard, you'll probably see all the way to your paper. Okay, so you can do lots of different designs with this. And then something that you can go, see a little bit. Something that you can go back in and do after you've done these techniques in your leaves is to go back and add more veins if you would want to, and you can either do that with black or the colors that you had been using. So you might just come in, add some veins, little lines coming out from your center vein. Okay. There you go. Those are your different oil pastel techniques.